Welcome once again to another edition of Shelf Life Book Reviews Online. Thank you again for taking the time to watch my video. Hopefully you'll find them informative, and when you go to the store to make your book purchases, you will consider the two books that I'm about to review today. They are nonfiction books and very different. The first one is All the Lies They Did Not Tell: The True Story of Satanic Panic in an Italian Community by Pablo Trincia. This is published by Amazon Crossing, and it retails for $34.95. If you like true crime books, this is definitely a book that is very riveting. It is based on events that happened in the Baza region of Italy in 1997. It was really a very complex event, and the author has since done a podcast on it and is referred to as the Devils of the Baza Madonese. And it involved 16 school children. Now, the whole town was in panic because one child, the name of Dario Galliera, he reported that he witnessed, people being tortured, hurt, killed, murdered, and it came back to the police, and the police went to the parents of some of the children. Now, it was almost like a witch hunt at times because they took the child's story and they didn't doubt him. A 6-year-old can tell certain things. And as word got around, it seemed to be might have been a satanic cult, and it all was not just parents in the community, but the schools as well too. So before they knew it, parents were rounded up. Some were charged without a trial. Really, they were taken to jail. And but soon there were other stories and wild stories of during a school day, the children were suddenly flown to Mexico to get in these orgies and horrible things, and flown back before the school day ended. Now, it was hard to separate the truth from the fiction at times, and the author has definitely done an excellent job of researching. He spent 3 years researching this case, and it is really fascinating because it did involve, murders too. The children say that they saw people being murdered, tortured, and the children themselves were tied up. They were abused, sexually abused, beaten, and some of it seems that the police were forcing out confessions. It's almost like they were telling them what to say at times. So separating the truth from the fiction became very difficult at times. But the author has researched it very well from beginning to the modern day, because 20 years later he went back to interview some of these children, and they did remember what happened. They were definitely, something happened. It's not that you will read this and say, oh, I doubt the story. No, something terrible happened. Now, but to the extent of it, we're not totally sure. But based on this, some of the parents who were involved jumped from buildings. They committed suicide. So obviously something was going on there, whether in the dark of night or during the school day. There were satanic rituals, sacrifices, and it's just really a very intense book. So if you like a true crime story where there are conclusions, but you can draw your own conclusions too. All the Lies They Did Not Tell is definitely a different sort of crime book, and Pablo Trincia has definitely written the definitive book on the subject. And now for a very different book. This is Top 170 Unusual Things to See in Ontario by Ron Brown. This is published by Boston Mills Press, and it retails for $29.99. Ron Brown is noted for his series of books on Ontario. Ghost towns of Ontario, day trips that you should go to in Ontario. I think he's written close to 30 books. And if you want an authority on places to see, places to go in Ontario, a Ron Brown book is definitely one you should refer to first. Now, as I record this, it's fall, but it's not too late to take fall road trips. And there are 170 locations in this book with pictures, with directions how to get there as well too. It's very informative. Now, some of these places you might be familiar with, and some of the locations you will say, wow, I didn't know that existed, I got to go see it. One of the ones that they mentioned here is the Church of Shanty Bay. It's the Mud Church of Shanty Bay. It was built in 1838. The land was donated by the Shanty Bay Settlement, and the church was made from mud, basically. Now, in Europe and the United States at that time, some of the buildings were made from mud, actually. Now, the foundation was stone, but mud was used, and it was thick, and it really withstood the test of time, because the church still stands today in Shanty Bay, and people still attend the church. So that is definitely one location that you should consider seeing. Now, there's another place that was mentioned, the Tyrone Mill in Tyrone, Ontario. I'm not familiar with Tyrone, Ontario, but the mill was built in 1846 by settlers, and it began as a flour mill. Now, in 1908, it became a feed mill for dairy cattle, and the mill still stands today. It does sell grain, apple cider to the public. So if you're on a day trip up around Tyrone, Ontario, it's definitely a place that you should look into. Now, some of the other places in the book: Lake Erie's Cold War submarine. There's a submarine on land there. The Trompe l'Oeil murals of Castle Kilbride. That's another interesting place. There's a cryptic gravestone at the Rushes Cemetery as well too. This is in southwestern Ontario, west of Kitchener. So when you have 170 places to see here, they also mentioned Toronto's old City Hall gargoyles, and Toronto's Evergreen Brickworks, a World War II training facility for spies, Camp X in Central Ontario. So basically, any page you turn to, you are definitely going to find a place of interest. And they are unusual things to see in Ontario. Some are within your own area, some a little further in Ontario, but definitely worth the drive. So you can get the book now, and if you don't want to drive in the fall, save this for spring or next summer. The main thing is, this is definitely a book if you're an Ontario lover and want to get out to see Ontario. These reference books cannot be beat. So Ron Brown, we give you kudos for once again showing us areas of Ontario we might not know of otherwise. So those are the two books I wanted to draw to your attention. Very, very different. All the Lies They Did Not Tell, and the top 170 unusual things to see in Ontario. So thank you for watching. Hopefully you'll buy these books and you will send me your comments whether you agree or disagree with me. So until we meet again, and we will, stay safe, stay sane, stay social distancing, and do stay in touch. See you again real soon, and thanks again. Bye for now.